A rally to take back the night at UBC. When will police catch the man responsible for at least 6 sexual assaults? And can the university recover? And here's what else you'll see on the news tonight. A perfect shot and a long nap. The keys to a sea lion rescue that no one's ever tried before. Why this one needed saving and the risk these animals still face. Also, BC considers a change in liquor laws our American neighbors have enjoyed for years. What can we learn from them before adopting it here?
Live from Global BC, the News Hour. Here's Chris Galis.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. UBC is a campus on edge tonight since a series of late-night sex assaults began. At least 6 students attacked and still no arrests. So tonight, dozens have gathered at UBC to voice their concerns and take back the night. Our Randine Neal is live on the campus this evening. How's the turnout, Randine?
Chris, there are about 200 people here. I can hear them faintly. They're just marching up the street behind me. They'll be here in about a half an hour from now. They were hoping for 900, but it suddenly started raining quite hard, so I think 200 is quite a strong turnout. It was organized a couple of days ago by 2 female UBC students who are angry and upset by the recent sexual assaults, the 6 recent sexual assaults here on campus. They also want to stop what they call the rape culture on campus. It's the attitude they say from administration and staff that women have to stop living their lives, for example, going out late at night or wearing skirts to stop the sexual assaults. Here's what a few of the women at tonight's rally had to say.
I'm here because I feel like women have been told by the RCMP and by UBC to not walk alone at night. And I think that is preemptive victim blaming.
Here from Vancouver Rape Relief and Women's Shelter because we're here to protest the sexual assaults that have been happening on campus recently, and also just the rape culture that really manifests on campuses across Canada and I think around the world.
For me, it's not necessarily just these sexual assaults or sexual violence. I think it's also just gender inequality as a whole, and the fact that there still are large gaps between men and women.
All right, Randine, the march expected to go on for at least a few hours. At least that was the plan before the rain began.
Exactly. The march was supposed to go on until about 8:20 tonight, but they did start about an hour late. They didn't really start marching until just a couple of minutes ago, so I suspect that it will still end at about the same time, 8:30. They plan to walk through or march through almost the entire campus, going past an undergraduate residence, Vanier Park, and then marching in front of the Sauder School of Business, which had kind of a bad reputation in September when the infamous rape chant came out by the first-year commerce students, and then they'll go past the RCMP detachment on campus and finally end at the Student Union building. The plan is about 8:30 tonight. Chris.
All right, Randine, thanks very much for that. And earlier today, the university's president addressed the growing concerns. Despite its isolated location, split from the city by a forest, he maintains the campus is one of the safest in North America, even more so now with beefed up security. But as Tanya Beja reports, given the nature of the crimes and such an elusive attacker, experts say there's reason to still be concerned.
Close to 50,000 students attend UBC. Today, the university's president tried to reassure them that the Vancouver campus is a safe place to be.
There is far more police presence on campus than ever in the history of the campus. I very much hope that this will end soon and that we will be able to apprehend the person who's responsible.
Police have confirmed they now believe the same person is responsible for 6 sexual assaults at UBC, the most recent last weekend. Campus security has boosted the number of patrols, the university's Safe Walk service is increasing its hours, and senior students are being paid to accompany others to and from residence. But UBC's president won't commit to putting cameras on campus.
I certainly am reluctant to make a commitment at this point that the entire campus would be subject to surveillance. I think that's a robust discussion that needs to have.
4 of the attacks occurred here within the past month. Experts say the suspect has become comfortable on campus and won't likely be deterred by the security presence.
I think that he's totally lost control over the situation, and now it's the deviant fantasies that are taking over, which will push him to commit more crimes or to want to commit more crimes. And he's not going to wait that long to strike again if he decides to strike again.
UBC isn't the only campus taking precautions. SFU is also boosting patrols around residences and parking lots, while BCIT security officials say they are patrolling 24/7. Despite the measures, students say they aren't taking any chances.
I have to say that I don't stay out of the libraries late at night anymore. I probably would be out no later than like 7 or 8 just because I'm scared to walk home.
It's just crazy that women always have to be scared like this. It's pretty ridiculous. Like, my family's really worried about me, and like I have to convince them that I'm fine, and
it's a little unnerving and a little scary. I hope to catch him soon.
Police are still working on a sketch of the suspect and want anyone with information to contact them. Tanya Beja, Global News.
To an ongoing RCMP incident in Cranbrook now. Officers are trying to negotiate with a distraught and possibly armed man who barricaded himself inside the Nomad Motel this afternoon. Dozens of RCMP officers have surrounded the motel. Highway 3 between Victoria Avenue and 6th Street North has been closed in both directions. Residents are being asked to stay away from the area. And if there is an update before the news hour is out, we'll pass it along. The truck driver who slammed into the Ladner Trunk Road overpass, causing commuter chaos during yesterday's afternoon rush, has been fined. The truck, carrying a large metal silo, hit the overpass, forcing the closure of Highway 99 southbound and Highway 10. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but it did back up traffic for hours. RCMP say the driver did obtain a permit for his load, but that load was higher than his permit allowed. His total fine? About $650. Ministry officials believe it caused at least $500,000 damage. Tomorrow night is Halloween. Kids in costumes everywhere. And ahead of the big night, first responders are issuing an important safety reminder. Paramedics are stressing the importance of visibility, using things like reflective tape, glow sticks, or flashlights as part of a costume. Fire officials warning about the dangers of fireworks, making sure they're handled properly for the safety of everyone. And if your costume involves a weapon, police urge you to remember the basics.
We'd ask that if you do have to have a weapon, whether it's a gun or a sword or a knife as part of your costume, that you act responsibly with it, use some common sense. If you've been at a party or going to a party and have the costume in your trunk now or transporting it somewhere, please, again, don't take these items out. Don't wave them around. We have to treat this as if it's real.
A good rule of thumb for flying during any holiday travel period: expect to pay more. A lack of competition means airlines often jack up the price. But as Ted Chernecki reports, there are ways to score a cheaper fare and keep your cash for Christmas shopping.
Emily's been checking airline prices every day and can't believe how much it's going to cost to fly back to London, Ontario over Christmas. It's always expensive to travel in late December, but it seems this year the airlines are really jacking up prices.
I have to see my family at Christmas, and it's one of the only times I go home every year, so it's disappointing to see prices so high.
As of today, the cheapest flights departing Friday, December 20th, returning a week later, has Vancouver to Toronto costing $1,055. Flying to Montreal has a price tag of just under $1,200. And to fly to Halifax sets you back $1,339. But flying out of Seattle to an American city close to Toronto, like Buffalo, on the same dates costs more than $200 less. And it gets cheaper the further you fly. Out of San Francisco, it's $740 to Buffalo. Out of LA, it's less than half what Canadians pay. Even flying from Seattle to Boston to get to Halifax, half price.
There's only 2 big airlines to go home on. Obviously, it would be great to have lower prices or regular prices around Christmas time, but it's a business at the end of the day, and they're trying to make money, and they know people are traveling at this time.
And Western Canadians pay the most, with just WestJet and Air Canada serving the eastern part of the country. Yes, demand is high during the holidays, but experts say if the skies over North America were opened up like they are in Europe, there would be more competition. For example, an American airline is not allowed to fly directly between 2 Canadian cities.
If we have arrangement like European sky, European Union has a single aviation market. If we have a single aviation market deal with the United States, they can do that, or Canadian can also do the same in U.S. territory.
Travelers are right in suspecting this year's prices are even higher than average for the holiday season. The Canadian economy has picked up a bit since last year, putting ever more pressure on an already very limited supply of seats. Ted Chernecki, Global News.
The provincial government is considering a big change to BC's liquor laws. One of the most talked about proposals covered on the NewsHour last night, allowing beer and wine sales in grocery stores. In Washington state, it's been successful for years, and recently they've even expanded to include hard liquor. So how's it all working out? Jill Bennett crossed the border to find out.
For shoppers south of the border, being able to pick up the day's groceries and then shuffle over to the next aisle to find a nice bottle of wine or a case of beer has been the way it's been done for decades.
It makes it more convenient for you while you're grocery shopping to just grab your liquor while you're at the store.
And it's that kind of convenience many British Columbians say they want here. The MLA in charge of BC's Liquor Review announced Tuesday he's looking to see what kind of model might work in this province, but not everyone thinks following the lead of our U.S. neighbors is a good idea.
There's a family environment in my point of view. Like if you want, there's a liquor store, go outside the corner right there. There'll be one there you want to go to.
I think it's fine to me because they're going to get it anyway, anywhere, any way possible anyhow. So if it's more accessible to them, maybe they'll respect it a little bit more.
Back in BC, the independent liquor retailers say any expansion here wouldn't look the same as in the United States, and they warn it would severely hurt their industry.
There's been millions of dollars of personal money invested in building these businesses, and to have that sort of taken away at the stroke of a pen to move a small handful of products into a small store within a store is just not a move that this industry wants to see happen.